Have you ever felt this way? You finally bought something you really liked, but the joy faded in just a few days. You achieved something you'd long dreamed of, and yet you still wanted more. There's always something missing, just a little bit more to finally feel happy. So, when is enough, truly enough? In a world that constantly pushes us to have more, do more, be more, Stoic philosophy takes a very different path. Less, but enough. And today, I'd love to explore with you why enough doesn't mean having less, but means living with more clarity. Welcome back to The Calm Within, a space where we learn how to live more deeply, more mindfully, and more gently, in a world that never stops rushing. Today, I want to share a simple story, but one that might make you pause and reflect on how you've been living. It's a story about two old friends, a luxury watch, and an unexpected lesson about contentment. If you're ready, sit down, breathe with me, and let's begin. The story of Jack, Tom, and a watch. Jack and Tom were college friends. After graduation, life took them down different paths. Jack worked for a big corporation in the city. Busy life, high salary, always in a rush. Tom ran a small electronics repair shop in a quiet town, slow days, simple joys. One day, Jack visited Tom. They sat on the porch, sipping coffee, catching up like old times. Jack glanced at his wrist and said, "I just bought this watch, Swiss-made, nearly $3,000. Looks nice, right?" Tom looked at it and nodded. "It's beautiful, but pretty expensive, isn't it?" Jack laughed, half joking. "Don't you want something a bit fancier?" Tom smiled gently, eyes resting on the peaceful street ahead. "Of course I used to, but over time I realized something. Every watch tells the time. What matters is, do I have the time to live? I choose to live slowly time to talk to my wife, fix things for neighbors, go for walks in the evening. No rushing, no comparing, but I feel enough." Jack went silent. He looked at the luxury watch on his wrist, then looked at Tom, calm, smiling, present. Suddenly, that expensive watch felt a little heavier, a gentle reminder. There are things we chase, thinking they'll make us happy, but end up feeling like burdens we need to keep holding on to. Stoicism isn't anti-material. It simply asks, does this thing help me live better, or is it quietly owning me? 1. We live in a world that constantly says, buy more, do more. You're not there yet. But the real question is, when is it enough? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed for a life lived rightly." That at its heart is Stoic minimalism. Not about owning nothing, but about not being owned by what we have. Who to? Minimalism isn't about owning less, it's about worrying less. When people hear minimalism, they often think, throw away stuff, declutter your closet, live in an empty room. But for a Stoic, minimalism starts not in the drawer, but in the mind. Stoics never said you can't own anything. They simply ask a deeper question. Is this necessary for your peace of mind? Marcus Aurelius lived in a palace. Seneca was wealthy, but both taught, wealth is not the problem unless it starts to own you. Seneca said, happiness doesn't come from having more, but from needing less. This simple truth is a gentle invitation to come back to what really matters, to stop chasing what doesn't, to clear the noise inside and out. In the Stoic sense, minimalism is the art of letting go of attachments to things so they don't rule you, letting go of constant comparison to rediscover joy in the present, letting go of unrealistic expectations to live aligned with who you are. Minimalism is not living with less, but living with clarity, with purpose, with peace. Living enough means having space to hear your own thoughts, time to notice what really matters, and the freedom to walk away from what doesn't. 3. Enough is an inner choice, not an external condition. In a world that constantly pushes us to have more money, more possessions, more achievements, saying, "I have enough," almost feels rebellious. But it's that very choice that becomes the foundation of true freedom. You could live in a small apartment with no luxury. You might not own expensive things. You might not travel to exotic places or attend glamorous parties. But if your mind is at peace, if your heart feels whole, then you may be far more fulfilled than someone surrounded by luxury yet hollow inside. The Stoics never defined wealth by the number in your bank account. They defined it by the serenity within. True freedom doesn't come from having more, but from the ability to be content with less. Epictetus: if you always tell yourself, "Once I have this, then I'll be happy," even when you get it, you'll soon want something else and still feel lacking. So, enough never comes from outside. It's an inner decision. I choose to be grateful for what I have, even as I strive to grow. Choosing enough doesn't mean you stop growing. It simply means you no longer grow from a place of lack, comparison, or competition. You still make effort, but not at the cost of your peace. You still move forward, but you honor what's already present. Try asking yourself, if nothing new came into my life today, can I still feel at peace? Am I truly in need, or just caught up in the pressure to have more? Is my sense of enough coming from gratitude or comparison? This is enough for today. I'm okay. I don't need more to know I already have so much. 4. What you own also owns you. There's a quiet paradox in life that most of us miss. The more things you own, the more those things begin to own you. Sounds strange? Think about it. You buy something expensive. You're excited at first, but it comes with worry about losing it, fear of it breaking, pressure to keep it perfect, and sometimes a need to show it off, to justify having it. Possessions don't just cost money. They often cost mental energy more than we realize. Or take a big goal. It's good to aim high, but then you feel stressed when you're not progressing fast enough. You feel defeated when someone else gets there first. You lose the present moment because your mind is stuck in a future that hasn't arrived. The more I must, I should, I need to, the more things there are to stress over, fear, or chase endlessly. The Stoics didn't reject material things. They didn't deny ambition. But they always asked, does this make me freer or more attached? They chose simplicity not out of hardship, but from a deep knowing. The fewer the attachments, the easier it is to remain at peace. You could live in a small space and feel calm, or live in a mansion and worry about debt every day. You could use an old phone and be totally content, or own the latest model and constantly fear scratches, glitches, or falling behind. Minimalism isn't about giving everything up. It's about keeping only what truly matters. It's about not letting what's outside you dictate your peace inside. Ask yourself, do I own this, or does it own me? If I lost this tomorrow, would I lose my inner calm? Is this making my life easier or heavier? In the end, the lighter you are, the freer you become. The fewer things you have to hold on to, the more you can hold on to yourself. Material things can bring comfort, but inner freedom is what makes life truly worth living. Closing thoughts from the calm within. Ask yourself this each day. Do I really need this, or am I just chasing? Does this make my life deeper or just busier? The Stoics didn't practice minimalism to be admired. They practiced it to live clearly. And in that clarity, you'll find the deepest freedom of all. Freedom from desire. Freedom from pressure. freedom to be fully yourself with all your quiet abundance within. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If this video brought you even a little peace, please consider giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and walk with you on this journey. Let's continue growing calmly, intentionally, and deeply together. See you in the next video from the Calm Within.